final symphony, a requiem. An anthem of heroes and tears. When the daylight pierced through the branches, we understood we were standing before God. And here you are, on the edge of the Creator, listening to the echoes of a written story. See. The world will collapse. While you stand in the midst of nothingness, searching for light in the darkness, only grasping the truth in the final reckoning. We were caught in the Rubicon's flow. Behind the high ramparts, where it cannot see us, we recite our final words. Motherland, bless your children who are about to die. Beyond my sword and behind my shield, I smile, because against all odds, I will triumph.
What is going on? Hello. We are going to get into some Beautiful Light. So this is a game I've been looking forward to for a while, basically ever since I heard about it. And it's been on my radar for a little while now. It's probably one of my most anticipated games coming up. So I'm excited for it. I've actually been fortunate enough to play some games of it, some early pre-alpha, I think they were defining it as. And it's a lot of fun. And that was in a state where it was just not really fully fleshed out yet. It was just super basic. But it was pretty solid. I had fun with it. So if you're kind of new to Beautiful Light, I would describe it as a bit of a mix between Hunt Showdown with maybe some Stalker kind of vibes to it. More of like a Stalker aesthetic more than anything. But yeah, it's most similar, I would say, to Hunt Showdown, which is a super fun game. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this, and we've got a little bit of an extended FAQ here. So nothing too crazy. I'm not doing any crazy video here. I just kind of want to go over what I'm going to be bringing in terms of content to this. Now, I have done some videos in the past, but it was basically just pure gameplay. And for the most part, that's usually what I bring to these types of games, or to these videos. Lately, I've done a lot of Dungeonborn stuff. Unfortunately, that game's kind of on a downward slope, but what I bring is basically just ideas coming from gameplay, things I would like to see, how I think things can be improved, stuff like that. I'm pushing 40, so I've been gaming for a long time. So I like to think I have a good understanding of how games not should play, but I know what kind of makes games good and what successful games kind of do and what is fun for as a player. I kind of have a pretty good understanding of what is generally fun. Obviously, everybody's going to have their different feelings and stuff like that, but I feel like in a game that I play that I'm passionate about, I have a good understanding of how that game should play and what could make it even better than what it already is. So that's basically what I'm going to be bringing to these. But obviously, that's a little ways down the line. From my understanding, 2025, end of 2025 is when they're looking at early access. So we got a long way to go still. But yeah, the devs seem very passionate. They communicate a lot with the community. They kind of throw out all kinds of leaks and stuff like that. And then they do these play tests. So we're going to be getting into that a little bit later. But for now, the first thing I want to do is we're going to look at this extended FAQ. By the way, you can see in the background here just some screenshots there, just kind of randomly. We'll go through some of them after, but there's all different categories here. But this is just some kind of environmental stuff. I think there's some weapon components and stuff. That's part of the PDA, which we're going to talk a little bit about as well, because that's one of the things I'm really excited for. It looks like they've done a really good job with it. But yeah, for now, we are going to get into the extended FAQ. So buckle in. This is a bit of a meaty one, but we're going to go through all this and just kind of talk about the game in general and kind of what they're doing with it. All right. So the disclaimer, obviously, Beautiful Light is still in active development. Well, this extended FAQ gives you a better understanding of what we plan for both the game's early access and full release. Things may change as we are constantly trying to improve on the vision we have for the game, which, I mean, that's understandable, especially when a game is this early. Obviously, things are going to be changing. And from what I've experienced so far, they're very receptive to the community and ideas and stuff there. So yeah, let's move on. General stuff here. So what is Beautiful Light? Beautiful Light is a horror PvPvPvE. A lot of P's. Tactical first-person extraction shooter where you are tasked to enter, secure, and extract an artifact in a hostile and horrific environment. Face other operators and anomalies controlled by players where any mistake can risk your life and your gear. So yeah, typically these games, these extraction type games are PvPvE, right? The third P here is the fact that players will be able to control anomalies. I guess technically, Escape from Tarkov would be PvPvPvE because there's both players as well as scavs, I guess. But in this case, instead of a scav, you're playing as one of the anomalies. And we'll see a bit of them a little bit later. But yeah, this isn't going to be as, from my understanding, it's not going to be as gear-centric as something like Escape from Tarkov. But you will be risking stuff, right? You're not going into these raids to necessarily find gear. Your main goal is going to be to get the artifact. So again, like Hunt Showdown, you're not going into Hunt Showdown necessarily to find gear and stuff like that. You're going in to extract the bounty from the monster that you hunt, right? So this is kind of similar on a very base level in that you're going in to try and extract this artifact. That's your main goal. Is it an extraction shooter? Yes, Beautiful Light is an objective-based extraction shooter This means that in Beautiful Light, you'll have a main objective to accomplish on each map. Now, I don't know if they're going to change. I've only played the one map so far. And again, the main thing was that you go in and you're trying to extract this artifact. Really cool how you do it too. We'll probably get into that a little bit later, but basically you're going into this big bunker. I don't know if they're going to talk about like the whole like gameplay loop here, so I'm just going to briefly skim over it. Maybe we'll come back to that later if they don't. Basically, you're going in and your specific team, I believe it's 3-man teams. I don't know if that'll change, but your 3-man team is going in and you have an initial objective to find a key card or print a key card. So you have to go find, it's been a little bit since I played, but you got to go in, you got to find a laptop there's different points of interest around the map. And you have to find the one you're assigned to go to. And you find a laptop in there. You got to do some like hacking stuff. And you print a key card that's going to help you get into the bunker to then get this artifact, right? So you go to this bunker. And the cool thing is like everybody spawns around the map and there are multiple points of interest and people are going to have different points of interest. You might have one in common with one of the other teams. So there might be some PvP there and then same around the other parts of the map. But in the end, everybody's trying to get to this kind of bunker where this artifact is. And then once you get in the bunker, you have to do some more hacking stuff. You got to move some wires and stuff around on the, I guess, the containment chamber to free the artifact so that you can then take it. And then once you take it, you then have to extract it. So that's just kind of a basic thing, but it's really fun. So what are the main strengths of the game? The first one is that Beautiful Light is asymmetrical. Playing monster anomalies will give players many other ways to play the game. The anomaly side will have its own progression as well, and you'll be able to convert some of your earnings to the human side. I wonder if I have a quick little image here. Yeah, so this one right here. This kind of shows the progression system, right? So you're going to have different skills. Now, I don't have a ton of background knowledge on this. I'll be completely honest. I try to ignore as much as I can about this game because it's so far off. I don't want to get like overly excited for it and then it's going to take forever to get here. When I'm excited about a game, I try and put it on the back burner, back of my mind, and suddenly it's there, right? So if I'm not anticipating it the whole time, kind of shows up faster, I feel. But anyway, this looks like just a basic understanding. It looks like you're going to have different levels of it. So this is the Juggernaut, obviously. But yeah, you're going to have different levels of it, different skills, stuff like that. I don't know a ton about it, but that's just a little example of the progression there. The second one is that Beautiful Light is an objective-based extraction shooter. When most of the extraction shooters are loot-based, the overall game is bound to the economy and not when the loot is generated infinitely. These types of games have no other choice than doing wipes as the game gets boring and loses its stakes. With a different objective to do on each map, we believe the replayability of the game will be much higher without the need to do wipes, at least not after early access. So that's something too. I feel like, again, that's a very typical thing with these extraction type games is when they have that economy of items, that economy isn't balanced properly and done right. You need wipes because you get to the point, again, Tarkov is an example. After a certain amount of time, once you know how to play the game, where you know how to loot, you know what to sell, all that stuff. For me personally in Tarkov, which I have thousands of hours in, when I get the flea market, that's it. I know what to sell. I have basically infinite money, right? Money becomes no issue. Same with gear, because then I obviously just buy gear. But that becomes the problem, right? And that's why people look forward to these wipes in Tarkov, is because it's a fresh start. Everybody starts fresh. It's not everybody out there with like the best of the best gear. And I personally think that is one of the major issues, is that's what gets boring to me, is when everybody's just running the best of the best meta stuff. I feel like if that stuff was way more rare, then you wouldn't really need the wipes as much, because that stuff would be getting churned and burned a lot more, whether it's with durability things, right? The fact that you can repair armor so easily, stuff like that. Remove that and you might actually be able to avoid a wipe, because eventually armor is going to get broken enough. It does already, but it would be at a more accelerated rate. When you have as many players as Tarkov does, that stuff, it's just going to be a constant cycle, right? Anyway, that's a whole other thing. The third one, the atmosphere of the game. Let me tell you, the atmosphere of the game is phenomenal. Even in its base state right now, there's one part, you can kind of see it right here. The bunker doors, when you go in, it's just silent, and it's not completely silent, but for the most part, it's silent, and you just hear the hum of like the engines and the motors and the ventilation in the background of this bunker. And then it's just this like kind of low rumble. And then the bunker doors open up and you got the red light going. It gives me like Alien vibes, you know, that you got the mist and the red lights, and it's just silent except for those kind of background hums and stuff. It's super, super cool. One of the best experiences in this game so far is just opening that bunker door. And then you hear like, you might start hearing gunfire in the distance within the bunker, and super, super cool. I should link them somewhere. I got to figure out this YouTube stuff a little bit more, but I'll link some of my past videos. One of them is basically just like a 6-minute segment of a fight at those bunker doors. Super crazy, super fun. So what is PvPvE? I got to make sure I keep track of those. Human player versus player anomaly versus AI anomalies. Beautiful Light is an asymmetrical game, but you'll be able to play as monsters. Now, I don't know like how varied they're going to be with their types of monsters, but like the Juggernaut, for example, is one of them. I don't know if they're going to have like a ton, at least right out of the gate, but from my understanding right now, Juggernaut is like the main one, and that's I have not had the chance to play as one yet, but I have played against an anomaly. One of the developers actually played as one of the anomalies. It was crazy. It was just this little thing, and it was jumping all over the place. It's a nightmare. It was a friggin' nightmare. So what enter, secure, extract means exactly? So that's like their tagline, right? It represents the in-match core gameplay, core game loop of the game. So enter, prepare yourself to face the intervention area. Search for the mysterious artifact or complete your quests. Gear up with various weapons, protection, and gadgets, and team up with 2 squad mates. So again, yeah, it's a three-man squad. Land in and explore a hostile environment filled with lore, obstacles, and hazards. Rival operators and monstrous anomalies will do everything they can to take you down. Each raid is unique, so be ready to face the unknown. So again, kind of like Hunt Showdown. You're going in Hunt Showdown, you have solos and stuff as well, but same kind of deal with the 3-man teams. You go in, there's other 3-man teams out there trying to do similar things as you. And then obviously in Hunt Showdown, you don't have the monsters being played by players as well. So that's a nice little addition that we've got here. Secure. Artifacts all have different properties that can be exploited. In this devastated world, exploration of these resources determines whether a city survives or collapses. That's why they're so valuable, and why you need to be the first to secure them and eliminate whatever and whoever stands in your way. If someone has already taken the artifact, make sure you're the one who brings it back home. So again, I'm going to probably draw a lot of comparisons on Hunt Showdown, which is a game I've played a decent amount of. But it's similar to that. So in Hunt Showdown, when you pick up the bounty, you have certain powers, right? And you can kind of look around in your dark sight and potentially see other players. Now in this, I only had the artifact once or twice. So I don't remember a ton. But basically, when you have the artifact, you can actually see other players on the map. And I believe other people can see you too. So it's kind of like Hunt Showdown, where you can see the lightning bolts up in the sky in your dark sight, and that indicates where somebody is with the bounty. So it's kind of similar here. But yeah, I believe you can see them on the map and they can see you. I forget exactly how it works. There might be some like some nuances there, like they might not see what direction you're facing as the carrier. You have a better kind of info source as the carrier of the artifact. Extract. Each death means a failure of your mission and the loss of everything you brought with you. Shoot a flare, call in the extraction helicopter, and escape before something kills you, with or without the artifact. After all, sometimes your life is more valuable than a weird rock or a friend. Hold on until your extraction vehicle arrives and watch out for any other lurking threats. So where this kind of differs a bit from Hunt Showdown is when you call that extraction, it alerts everybody. And you have to actually wait for the helicopter. And in one of my videos, there's one part where we're chasing the artifact carriers, and I think they actually got on the helicopter, and I come over the top of this roof. It landed on like a rooftop. Super cool. You can actually kind of see something like that right there. Landed on the rooftop. They jumped in, and I came up this like something crossing from one rooftop to another, and as I came over the top, I shot them off the helicopter, and I was able to take the artifact. Now I think I can then call in my own extract as well, but I think they just kind of ended the game there because I was the last one alive. So but yeah, that's basically it. You want to get this artifact and get out with it. Now obviously, like, artifacts are a big thing in like Stalker, and that's another reason why I kind of refer back to Stalker a little bit here. Mind you, in Stalker, it feels like the artifacts are a little more plentiful, whereas here there's like, you're after like the one artifact on the map, right? So I don't know the lore too well, but yeah, that's basically the core of the gameplay loop. And like Hunt Showdown, you're bringing in gear, you're bringing in your hunter, and you lose the stuff you die with, right? Where can I follow the game development? We share a lot of development leaks on our Discord and other socials, and you can see our development timeline here. So I'm going to link all this later on in the description below. But yeah, definitely join their Discord, follow them on Twitter, all that stuff. Again, they're very open and vocal with their community. They share a lot of stuff. Lots of leaks and stuff like that. And it's a nice little cozy Discord right now. So get in there, kind of chat with people. Because once this game gets bigger, that place is going to be flooded. I'm sure of it. So what engine do you use? Unreal 5 and its latest updates. So I'm excited about that. I've always heard good things about the Unreal stuff. So I'm hoping that helps with like optimization and just having the game run better. When will the game be available? We won't launch early access in a state that doesn't live up to to expectations. End of 2025 is likely the likely time frame. So that's kind of what I said before. Is again, this is stuff they've all communicated within the Discord and stuff. They're very open about that stuff. Even playing those pre-alphas, there was no NDA or anything. They were very open about it, which is super cool to see. So yeah, still quite a ways out, which is, for me, it sucks because I want to play it. But that's what's nice about these little play tests is you get little glimpses and little tastes here and there. So why early access instead of a full release? Beautiful Light is a very ambitious project, especially for us as a very small, new and small studio. We wouldn't be able to fund the entire project development without another source of income. Early access is also a way for us to improve the game thanks to community feedback as we build the game we have envisioned. All features listed in this FAQ present our current plans for the game. Some features are intended for early access, while others are planned for full release. Read our Beautiful Light dev timeline for more. So this is something I'm going to link as well. They're kind of like roadmap dev timeline thing. It shows all the different projects they're working on, what they finished and stuff like that, and kind of when they aim to have things done. So lots of really cool stuff there. Again, they're super open and honest, which is great. How long will the game be in early access? We don't know exactly. It will depend on many things, like how much we can grow after launching early access, how the game will be received, how much we will need to work on player feedback, etc. However, less than 3 years would be ideal. Now, I feel like early access gets a bad rap, and rightfully so sometimes. There are certain early access games that come out and they immediately have like cash shops and stuff like that. And that's fine as long as they're not using the early access as an excuse. Because if you come out with early access, if you're charging like an initial price to get in, that's fine too. Again, they said they're a small studio, they need that funding. But yeah, as long as you don't hide behind that early access as an excuse, I'm totally fine with it. As long as there's progress and they're open and they're working on things, I'm totally cool with that. So like 3 years seems like a long time, but it's understandable. Look at Tarkov. Tarkov's been in beta, alpha, whatever the hell it is right now for what, 7 years, something like that. Games take time. I understand it. I've got thousands of hours in Tarkov, and Tarkov's not even technically released yet. So, yeah, as long as they're making progress, I'm cool with it. Will there be any open beta / demos available before early access launch? Yes, we would like to make multiple open playtest phases to refine the game thanks to player feedback before launching early access. This should allow us to enter early access in a state somewhat validated by our community, which is great. Again, like they're super good with that stuff, and getting community feedback and just being open. And again, they've given us as content creators the opportunity to play in these little play tests, which has been super fun. But yeah, I mean, again, I can't say it enough. They seem to care, and they want that feedback and stuff. And I think they're doing it in the right ways. What's your plan after launching early access? We can't go into details for now, as things will be in a very different state than now. And we don't want to make promises we can't keep by sharing a roadmap. However, you can definitely expect new content like maps, guns, gadgets, playable anomalies, AI anomalies, customization, etc. So one of my big things with these early access games is I want to know where they're headed, right? If I'm going to invest my time, I want to know where they're headed. So they say they can't, they don't want to make promises they can't keep by sharing a roadmap. Hopefully they'll have something though. So like they've already kind of showed stuff that they're working on, that kind of stuff. But it's nice to even just like general ideas, a direction that they're going is nice to have. You want to know that something's coming. There's something to get excited about, whether it's far off or not. I'm sure they'll be smart enough to do it right. So in which languages will the game be available? English, Spanish, in both Spain and Latin America, traditional Chinese in Taiwan, simplified Chinese, Italian, Polish, Portuguese in Brazil and Portugal, Russian, German, French, Korean, Japanese, Turkish. However, this list may vary depending on wishlist localization data. Huge thing. This is, again, these are why, this is why the wish list stuff is so, why you see so many like companies and devs talking about wish listing their game, right? It just gives them information on who wants the game, where these people are, and that kind of stuff. So if this does end up interesting you, definitely make sure you wish list this. I've had it on my wish list. Let's take a little quick peek here just to see. Beautiful light. How long have I had it on here? Mind you, I don't think they've had this. Oh, I guess I should be. I don't think they've had it on here super long. Beautiful light. Right there. 2023. What's that? I don't know what they have first. Day. Oh, so about a year, right? Something a little over a year. I think that's September 4th, right? Yeah. Either way, get it on there if you're interested. Make sure you get it on there. Can I participate in the translation of the game? No, we will localize the game thanks to professionals. We have already chosen the company we will work with. However, this will come later down the line. There you go. They're set. They're set for the translation stuff. Price and monetization. How much will the game cost? Beautiful Light base price will be €39.99. I think that's euros, right? However, price will be localized depending on countries' economic conditions. Man, in Canada, we get raked over the coals with games. Stuff is very expensive. Like our base price is like for a AAA high-end game, it's $80 Canadian. And then there's tax on top of that. So usually we're paying like $90 to almost $100 for a game. It's kind of crazy. But we'll see. We'll see. I at this point, knowing what I know about this company, I will pay pretty much any price for this game within reason, obviously. Will there be any other editions purchasable? Yes, you will be able to buy a supporter edition for 70 euros. So that's going to probably be like that AAA price. This edition will include exclusive PMC skins, an exclusive title, and exclusive access to playtest environment, and more. Skins are still to be made and will be shared at a later date. That's something I want to talk about too. There's some really cool, like the whole aesthetic and the visuals and stuff are actually really cool. Will there be any discounts after launch? Yup. There you go. Am I able to pre-order the game or donate to help development? No. Beautiful Light development is fully funded for the early access launch. So that's really good to hear that they're fully funded and they're just, until they get to early access, they're not really looking for money. So that's good. That means they're not like struggling right now, right? The best way to help us is to wishlist the game and talk about it to your friends. Again, wishlists. Wishlists are huge for game developers. Will there be any battle pass? No. Will there be any microtransactions? Yes. Purchasable cosmetic DLC with variable pricing. Some cosmetics will be free and obtainable by simply playing the game. Understandable. Even at a game that's like a retail price game, having like cool cosmetics and stuff that they eventually see to keep funding the game, I'm totally cool with that. Again, as long as it's reasonable, and as long as there's some cool stuff that you can earn in the game as well. Why microtransactions? Microtransactions will be an additional source of income for us. We believe it will make us more sustainable in the long run, especially with the high cost of servers that the game will require. Again, understand. It's 2024. Servers and stuff are pretty expensive, surprisingly, especially getting them in certain areas. So, I mean, it's understandable. Again, it's cosmetics, right? I'm totally cool with that. They got to pay artists to do them and stuff like that. I'm totally fine with that. As long as it doesn't get into the kind of pay to win realm, which I highly doubt with these guys, I'm cool with it. All right, Deep Worlds. So that's the developer. When was Deep Worlds created? January 2023. It's actually not that long ago. Who are you exactly? Deep Worlds is a studio based in Switzerland, founded by Ares. Ares, I think it's Ares, right? And BDS Latour. Sounds French. We're currently around 16 people working on the game, 7 people working full-time on the game, and 9 mission-based freelancers. The team is mainly composed of modders and developers, as well as known tactical shooters. Developers are well known. I thought they were tactical shooters. That'd be pretty cool. You got like some real-life tactical shooters working on your game. Seems good. Translate some real-life stuff. Are you recruiting? Yes, but a very small scale. For now, we are mostly looking into UE5 experts as well as levelers. Man, I wish I had gaming knowledge like that. I would love to get into working on games and stuff. I'm too old now. If you're young, get on that stuff now. Don't let it pass you by. Consoles and cloud gaming. Will the game be available on consoles? If the game meets success on PC, we're definitely considering releasing it on PS5 and Xbox Series X as well. We're excited about the possibility. Yeah, I mean, I imagine when you're an indie studio, it's kind of tough to develop for the console as well. So hopefully they do find that success on PC, and then they could put money into porting it over to console as well. When will the game be available on consoles? We don't have any exact dates to share at the moment. Again, they got to wait and see. Will play be available? No. The difference between PC and consoles makes for unbalanced gameplay that we want to avoid. I think that's the safe bet. Because then you start running into issues with like aim assist and stuff like that. I think that's for the best. Will controllers be supported on PC? At some point, yes. Will there be aim assist? On console, yes. Not on PC. I like that. Will the game be available on cloud gaming platforms? This is not something planned for now. However, we're not against the idea. I feel like cloud gaming stuff is still kind of niche and not really... I don't know. Maybe it's just because I have like a decent computer and I've never really struggled to play too many games except Tarkov. So I haven't really needed this. But yeah, I don't really hear too much talk about it. So understandable that it's not really in their plans right now. All right, moving on to game modes. You said Beautiful Light is an objective-based extraction shooter. What does that mean exactly? Will there be any loot in Beautiful Light? Most available extraction shooters are loot-based, which means you need to scavenge the map in search of stashes, crates, equipment, resources, etc. This is not the case in Beautiful Light. We believe that loot-based extraction shooters are too much bound to their economy, causing many mid-long-term problems to the game loop, basically forcing wipes to have stakes and fun again. Again, going back to Tarkov, there's like not a single item in Tarkov that I would be excited to get. Like, sure, there's stuff like red key cards and stuff like that that are worth lots of money, but it's like, usually I have like millions, if not hundreds of millions of rubles. It's not an issue. And like they said, you lose that sense of risk and stuff like that. Obviously, it sucks to die and lose stuff, but usually it's not going to be something that sets you back completely, right? And you're on the struggle bus. So yeah, I believe that you could design these games with an economy and stuff that you don't need to do wipes, but I just don't think anybody's done it properly yet, and it's probably very difficult. So just avoiding that to begin with is probably the safer bet. We believe this is not the case for of objective-based extraction shooters, at least not to the same extent. The objective makes for a lot more replayability. Yeah. I mean, I played some very basic versions of this, and it's fun. It's fun going in. We were kind of doing the same thing because it was just the one map. But everything it switches things up. You might have a point of interest here you got to go to first and then to the bunker, or you're down here the other game and then up. And then you're going to run into different teams at different spots. You might get the artifact first. They might get the artifact first. You might both run into each other in the artifact room and you fight it out there to then try and get it. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. However, Beautiful Light will have some loot. There are 3 types of loot: the loot you're able to get from a player's dead body, map objective related loot, and quest related loot. We're also recently recently thought about a 4th type of loot, but is still something we're discussing internally. So again, I don't know how this is going to be. So loot from dead players. If we're looking at something like Hunt Showdown, usually when they die, you can loot their body. It's just usually a prompt, and you get like some meds or random like grenades or whatever, right? And then usually they drop their guns and you can take their guns. I don't know what they're going to do here. Map objective based loot, that I'm not really sure what they have planned either. Same with quest related loot. I don't know. I don't know what that is necessarily going to be. I don't know if like quest related loot is just going to be like quest items that you don't really do anything with other than turn them in, or what. So we'll have to wait and see on that. Will the game mode be the same on all maps? No, we plan on having variations to the game mode on each map. So the way you apprehend the map will be different. I think they mean approach. I don't think they're trying to arrest the map. I think they mean the way you approach the map will be different for each one. The main objective of each map can be different as well. For now, we've thought about maps where you need to recover the artifact and maps where you enter with a previously recovered artifact to enhance its value. Of course, you'll need to extract life. That's interesting. I'm curious how that's going to work. Because again, once you get the artifact, you can see people on the map. So Then if you go to another map where you're bringing the artifact, I don't know how that's going to work. Interesting. I'm curious to see where that goes. What is the difference of objective? What is the difference of objective while playing PMC human or anomaly monster? Main objective as a PMC will always be around artifact. You'll have to recover them and get the most of their value. As an anomaly, your main objective is to kill and eat human players until no one remains. Pretty simple. I like it. Will there be PvE only modes? We've thought about it, but Beautiful Light is already quite an ambitious project, and we don't want to disperse our workforce for now. Now, I don't want to get on a tangent too much here, but Dungeonborn had a similar issue where everybody wanted a PvE mode. And again, if you're going to do something, I would hope as a developer, you're going to want to do it right. And to do purely PvE mode right, you're going to have to disperse your workforce. And again, they're a small team, so it's understandable that that's not really something they're looking at right now. However, we might have something planned for the future that will interest you. There you go. You'll be able to self-host servers and play only with your friends in PvE if you want. Some settings will let you customize the experience, as well as putting an access code to the server. You'll technically be able to play solo or co-op. However, keep in mind the game is built especially for PvP. So it'll probably be similar to Tarkov. Even before they had a PvE mode, you basically just do offline co-op, right? Your stuff probably won't carry over between the different sides. At least I wouldn't think so. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Will there be a campaign? This is not planned at the moment. However, the game has a deep lore. Lore will not be told to the players. You'll have to find out by yourself by playing the game or making your own hypothesis. I mean, that's fair. That's definitely understandable. I mean, I think, again, I'm going to go back to Hunt Showdown. Hunt Showdown's kind of like that. There's not really a story or narrative you're doing. But you never know. With like quests and stuff, you'll probably get little tidbits of the lore. The goal in the first map, Ground Zero, is to secure an artifact, which you mentioned has different properties that can be exploited. What do you mean by this? And can you describe how it affects gameplay? This specific statement is lore related. However, artifacts will impact gameplay in many ways depending on their properties. As you may have seen in our trailer, one of the artifacts fell and released an electromagnetic pulse. We won't reveal much as it remains a heavily work in progress feature. So I think that's what I chose as my my thumbnail, is possibly something like that. I'm not sure. But yeah, it'll be really cool to see what these artifacts and stuff do. Does the match end when the artifact is extracted? No, the match ends when the match timer ends, 45 minutes, but can vary depending on the map. So all teams alive can extract and save their gear. Match can end sooner if all humans are dead/eaten by Anomaly. So again, just like Hunt Showdown, even if you don't get one of the bounties and they get extracted, you can still extract and keep your stuff. You're just not going to be able to get the bounty, or in this case, the artifact. Will there be any human AI bots? No. All AI threats will be monster Anomaly, which I think is for the best. Will there be skill-based matchmaking? No. Now that's a big one. That seems to be a topic of contention in a lot of these types of games. Now I can say from playing this game, the time to kill is very quick. So I don't necessarily think that it's an issue. Like in Escape from Tarkov, there's no skill-based matchmaking, right? Because no matter what you're using, whatever, you can still take out one player by yourself, multiple players by yourself. You can potentially one tap them in the face or whatever. I think it's going to be similar with this, where I don't think skill-based matchmaking is going to be that big of a deal. The biggest problem I have with skill-based matchmaking is that it just turns every lobby into a sweat fest, right? It goes both ways, right? The better players are obviously going to have a pretty large advantage over the newer players or the not so good players. But I just think not having skill-based matchmaking in these types of games is, it just like, it's a different flow with the types of games, or within the game, right? It's not like you're always sweating it out, because even for newer players or not so good players, you're still going to feel like you're sweating every single game because you're going to be going up against equal skill players, right? It's fine when it's something where there's like ranks and that kind of thing. That's kind of the point, is to sweat it out in those. But in these types of games, I don't know if it's necessary, but we'll see how it plays out. Oh man, we got a lot of reading. PMC gameplay. What will be the maximum group size? Max group size will be 3. Will there be different group size queues? Yes, there will be 2 queues, one for solo plus duo and one for trio. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I always ask for that. In so many games where there's like groups, I'm a solo player. I mostly play 90% of my games I play solo. So being able to queue up as a solo and not have to go against, like, having 3 solos against a 3 stack is absolutely brutal, because they're just gonna have better coordination and stuff like that. So having a solo duo queue and a trio queue is really nice. However, you'll be able to play solo or duo against trios if you want, which is great. Will there be a stash? Yes, you'll be able to store what you've looted in raid, whether it's meds, gear, weapons, etc. Player stash will be in the form of item lists in order to avoid endless Tetris simulations. In order to quickly gear up between raids. So this looks like an early concept of it here. Yeah, so it looks like this guy's got 3 Scar Ls and 2 Mark 18s. So you just, yeah, it's kind of nice. I don't know how it's going to be with like customization. Like, if you've got 3 scars, do you just set like a loadout on it, or a setup that you like on it, and every time you pull one out, it's going to have all those attachments and whatever? That I'm kind of curious about, or if it's going to be a separate thing. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Out of here. How do I leave? Get me out of here. Abort. There we go. I saw a screen on the left forearm of our character. What is it? It's a PDA, a screen that will be used to display information and useful info like the map, a compass, health, missions, inventory, and more. Almost all interface components will be on the screen for maximum immersion. This thing is so goddamn cool. It's basically like a Pip-Boy. But basically all your HUD elements that you would normally have on your HUD, ruining your immersion, are going to be on your wrist. And obviously the way you hold your gun, right? Your wrist is going to be, your forearm is going to be right there, and it's going to be on display on your forearm. So really cool. So again, it's going to have everything. It's got your compass, it's got your mini map. Your teammates are going to show up on here. It's going to show their status. Oh no, Mooney's down. Yeah, so obviously it's got little indicators to show whether they're above you or below you. So Mooney's downed over here, about 50 meters away. And their elevation is lower than the player. So this thing is really cool. So when I first played, this wasn't in there, and I was actually asking about stuff like a map or a radar or whatever, or a compass. And I think it was Mavatar that was telling me about the plans for this. And man, it's just like so much cooler than I expected it to be. Yeah, super, super cool stuff. And they have like even bigger plans for it, like a spectrograph and stuff. It's crazy. It's super, super cool. I'm looking forward to actually getting to test this out. Will the PMCs have some sort of progression? Yes, there will be 2 different paths of progression. You'll be able to level up your character and spend XP in an RPG-like skill and ability tree. Spending skill points wisely will help you improve your operator proficiency in specific branches like stealth, endurance, weapon handling, medic, anomaly hunting, etc. You'll therefore be able to specialize your PMC to fit your playstyle. So now here's a potential thing I'm curious about. So again, they said there's no skill-based matchmaking. I wonder if there's going to be level-based matchmaking, right? Because obviously somebody that's played a long time and has like way more skills is going to have a big advantage. So I'm curious how they're going to do that. And then the other one is weapons, armor, meds, and gadgets will be unlocked by completing trader quests. There you go. What's your vision of PMC progression? When game progression is only based on pure stat progression, new players have a hard time competing against players with more advanced progression, regardless of skill. This is something we want to avoid to a certain degree. Our vision for PMC progression is therefore based on giving more abilities in addition to passive stats. We also want the progression to encourage players to play on different maps as they progress. I don't know what that necessarily means. Like, I don't know if you'll only be able to progress certain things on certain maps or what, but we'll see. Will I be able to reset my skill tree? Yes, you'll be able to reset your skill tree after completing a special quest. How will you gain access to different gear? To unlock new weapons and gadgets, you'll need to complete quests given by traders, which they mentioned. I've heard that there will be different factions. How does that work? All PMCs are QRF, Quick Reaction Force, of their own cities. However, you'll be able to choose a faction depending on the quests you'll complete and for which trader you complete them. Each faction will be unique in the way it sees the world, the way it equips itself, and the way it interacts with the world around it. Factions will therefore have dedicated skins, gadgets, and weapons, but will also have specific gameplay. About the specific gameplay, we don't want to talk too much about it as it is a feature that requires a lot of forethought, but we can say that this is a feature that will impact gameplay in a way that fits the lore of the game. So I'm really curious how they're going to do that. I'm trying to think of games that have things like that, but like just off the top of my head, like you have, I guess Fallout in a weird way can kind of explain it a little bit too. Like you've got the Brotherhood of Steel who kind of warships technology and stuff, so there could be like a faction that warships these artifacts and they're more artifact centric, whereas you might have another PMC group that's just more military focused and they only care about like the military aspects and gunfighting and stuff like that. So stuff like that could be pretty cool. Will there be armor in the game? Yes, there will be 3 different tiers of body armor and helmet. Will the skin of your armor change depending on its tier? No. Tier 1, 2, 3 armor skins will depend on what you apply to it. However, when you're not wearing armor, a coyote type rig will be applied to your character. How long will the time to be killed be? Overall time to kill is kind of short. Keep in mind that time to kill will mainly depend on weapon effectiveness, rate of fire, type, range, etc., and the armor your enemy is wearing. Bolt action snipers will always one-shot headshot, which I'm fine as long as they don't one-shot body shot. But yeah, like I said, when I played, the time to kill was fairly short. But in my opinion, I like that just because it lets you, if you have to fight a 1vx, a 1v1, 1v2, 1v3, whatever, it ends up being a lot more doable when the time to kill is that short. So if you can like 1-2 tap somebody in the head, you have way more higher potential for a skilled player to be able to fight off multiple players, which I think is good. Will traders sell different calibers and will it impact the time to kill / armor penetration? Traders will sell weapon magazines, so you'll just have to buy the magazine tied to your specific weapon. Damage per shot depends on the weapon and not the bullet type, even though we'll be keeping a bit of consistency. So yeah, it sounds like you're not gonna, which is, I guess in a way is kind of nice. You're not gonna have to worry about, okay, in Escape from Tarkov, I've got 11 different types of rounds of 7.62 by 39. It's cool, but it's kind of a pain in the ass sometimes to try and remember all those different things. Here, it's like, okay, I really like the SR25, which I think they are going to be adding, which I'm excited for. I hope they add an SR15 as well, but I really like the SR25. I know what I'm getting out of it. I don't have to make sure I have this type of ammo or this type of ammo. This is the only type of ammo I can afford, blah, blah, blah. You just grab the gun you like, that you enjoy using, and you go with it. Is there an in-raid inventory system? Yes. In raid, your operator will have a grid inventory system for the backpack and dedicated slots for gear. When I played, I don't think we did. And if we did, we weren't supposed to mess with it because it would have bugged something. I forget exactly, but I haven't got to experience too much of the inventory system yet. Is it possible to loot dead enemies? What can I loot? Yes, basically everything that the player has on him except skin. So it sounds like you'll probably be able to take like armor, weapons, and then all the other stuff you would expect, like meds and grenades and stuff. Will I be able to sell what I loot in game? Yes, you'll be able to sell your loot to traders. Will there be a loadout system? Yes. Am I able to revive teammates? How often? How does the revive mechanic work? Yes, there's down but not out state. Revive a teammate, you need a syringe. Yeah, when I played, again, we didn't really mess with our inventory. I think we were just like automatically given syringes. So there was a point where I had to, I think you only got one. I think I had to revive one teammate, and then that teammate had to revive the other teammate, something like that. But either way, will it be possible to revive the killed teammate endlessly? As long as you have it in your inventory, you can revive your teammate, but you'll be limited by the price of the syringe and the number of items you can put in your bag. It'll be nice if you can take syringes off your teammates, or not off your teammates, off enemies. But yeah, sounds like you'll be able to revive as many times as you have syringes. Will there be a marketplace? There will be no marketplace. However, we are considering artifact trading in a way that real money trading is not possible. Interesting. So I was saying earlier that it sounded like the artifacts weren't going to be as plentiful as like in stock or something, but I might be wrong. There might be like, but that's going to be interesting. So I don't know how that's going to work. Because again, when we were extracting artifacts, there was one, and it was for one team only, right? So how's that going to work? Like if you extract an artifact with a 3-man team, who gets to keep the artifact? I don't know. But maybe those are like major artifacts and there's like minor ones you can get to. I don't know. We'll have to see. Player controlled anomaly gameplay. Will I be able to play with friends as an anomaly? This is not planned for now. Anomaly is a solo gameplay only, which, I mean, you're this big creature, so probably don't want like 3-man groups of these things running around. I don't know if they're going to mention it, but I wonder if there's like a limit to how many can join a game. Will there be different anomalies to play? Yes, playing as anomaly will let you unlock new anomalies. How many anomalies are planned? We don't know how many exactly yet. How will I be able to play as an anomaly? To play an anomaly, you'll have to select it before going into matchmaking. You'll then invade an already started match. What's my objective as an anomaly? Your objective as an anomaly is to kill every human and eat their dead bodies. Killing and eating them will grant XP to level up the anomaly. How often can you play as an anomaly? There is no timer. You can play anomaly as much as you want. Will there be any progression for anomalies? How will it work? Yes, like operators, anomalies will have a dedicated skill and ability tree. You'll be able to spend skill points to improve your skills and unlock different abilities. You'll have different skills and abilities to unlock at each level. Leveling your anomaly will grant you skill points to spend at each level. You'll not be able to choose every skill and ability, which means there will be different anomaly builds to create depending on your playstyle. So that's cool that you can't just like get every single skill, right? You can kind of build the anomaly how you want to play that anomaly, which is cool. And again, it's not just going to be everybody has a fully maxed out anomaly and they're all the same kind of thing. Screen below is the summoning anomaly page. You'll have a limited amount of slots for your anomalies, and summoning them will require anomaly shards. To gain anomaly shards, you'll have to level up and sacrifice the anomaly after reaching its max level. By doing so, you'll be able to unlock better and better anomalies that cost more. More and more anomaly shards. Okay, so this looks like they have like 4 slots here or something. And I assume that's the anomaly shard currency symbol there. Yeah. Okay. There's the skill tree again we were looking at. What's your vision for anomaly progression? In the same spirit as for PMC, improving your anomaly will overall give you more abilities and more ways to play them. Will anomalies be able to heal? Yes, anomalies will be able to regen health by eating players. So that's kind of cool that they can't just regen on their own. They have to actually get a kill and eat a player type thing. Will I be able to extract as an anomaly? Yes, anomalies will be able to extract thanks to dedicated extraction points. XP conversion. At the end of the match, you'll be able to convert some XP earned into money for your PMC. AI anomalies. Will there be different anomalies? If so, how many? Yes, we're not sure for now. What type of AI anomalies will I encounter? AI anomalies are like monsters. However, you can make they can take many shapes and forms and be completely different from one another. Will there be any bosses? No, but some anomalies will be harder to kill than others. Will I be able to loot AI anomalies? This is something we're currently thinking about. Will I earn XP by killing AI anomalies? Yes. Pretty simple stuff there. Guns and gadgets. How many weapons will there be in game for early access? We don't know how many exactly yet, but for now, 12 weapons are modeled. What types of weapons will be available in the game? Assault rifles, light machine guns, submachine guns, pistols, bolt action snipers, semi-automatic rifles, pump action shotguns, and more. How will the recoil behave? We want to have a demanding gunplay that offers depth and a long learning curve. Recoil patterns will have a unique feel for each weapon. Noise is added on top of the recoil patterns. However, horizontal and vertical recoil will behave differently depending on the character position and aim type. For instance, vertical recoil will be reduced while crouched. Horizontal is much stronger at the end of full auto. Recoil will be modified depending on the attachments mounted on the weapon, and bullets spread when hip firing. Yeah, I had no issues. The only thing we used, I think we were all using PP19s. Recoil was fine. I think we just had basic ones that they gave us. Felt nice. I enjoyed the gunplay. Will I be able to customize my weapons? Yes, weapons will have variants, and these variants will determine type of attachments you'll be able to put on your weapons. But will also have different stats. For instance, a tier 1 weapon could potentially have no attachments, while a tier 3 could have a sight, a silencer, a grip, and a laser. Basically, low tier weapons could have no rails and poor stats compared to their high tier counterpart. Of course, everything will be balanced through price and rarity. Also, almost every attachment will have an impact on how your weapon performs and behaves. How will I be able to get better variants? To be able to unlock better variants of weapons to buy by completing quests from the traders. You'll have to unlock weapons by completing quests from traders. You'll then have to level up the weapon by using it. It will unlock new variants. So, I mean, that's kind of cool. Again, I'm curious how they're going to balance that. Like with no skill-based matchmaking, will there be like weapon tier type balancing? Curious. Will there be throwables? What type of throwables are planned? Yes, explosive grenades, smoke grenades, gas grenades, flash grenades, and maybe more. Hopefully no impact grenades. Please no impact grenades. Will there be gadgets? What type of gadgets? Yes, we don't know what gadgets exactly yet. However, the PDA itself is a gadget and will have many functionalities that players will be able to use to their advantage. We'll also create gadgets in relation to anomalies. Maybe like disrupting type anomalies, maybe, or like, I don't know, like an EMP that might disrupt the, I don't know, or a sonar grenade or something that might disrupt a certain anomaly, maybe stuff like that. Weapon list. Oh my God. Man, this is a lot of reading. I think we're getting towards the end though. Weapon list. Here is a list of weapons we have or would like to have in the game at some point. Please keep in mind that this list may vary. So far they have the Mark 18, the APS, the M12S, the USP, the PP19. That's the gun we were mainly using. I don't know if we were using anything else. I think it was mainly the PP19. So far modeled, they have the Remington, the SA-58, the Mosin, the Mini-Me. I don't know what that is. The SKS, the AKM, a flare gun, studio wish lists, the F2000, the 416. I like 416s, and the 417. I think the 417 is like a semi-automatic DMR kind of version. The AK-103, the FAMAS, the F1G1, the AK-74M, the MAS-49, the SA-80, the AK-50M, M16, the TAR-21, the VHS K2, the SIG-552, the XM8, the SCAR-H, the G36, sniper rifles, although I think I don't know if the SR-25 is considered a sniper rifle or a semi-automatic rifle or a DMR or what, but either way, I want an SR-25 for sure. The FRF2, we got the FNP-90, the UMP-45, 5, the Glock 18, Glock 21, SIG P2022, the Colt 1911, the Colt 1945, the M9, the MR73 6-inch. I think that's a 6-inch. The PX4 Beretta. Is that what I think it is? The PX, isn't like the PX Storm or something? I forget. Oh no, that's a pistol. Never mind. The one I'm thinking of is an SMG. The AK-104 and the AK-105. The M401 and the SAS-12. Lots of stuff on that list. Maps. How many maps are planned? For early access, 3. And for full release, we are targeting 8. What types of biomes are planned? Almost every biome: forest, tundra, snow mountains, jungle, desert, etc. Will there be different times of day, weather conditions? Yes. Day, night, dusk, dawn, rain, storm, fog, and possibly more. Actually, that's probably a good opportunity to pop. Where is it? Just some quick little weather screenshots here. So that is afternoon. That is clear night. That is dark night. Oh, you guys probably can't even see that one. Oh my goodness. That is fog. Everybody's favorite fog. That's morning, overcast, rain, and then rain too. So that's just like a heavier rain. There you go. Some nice little weather screenshots there. And some day-night cycle ones. Actually, I don't know if there's like an actual day-night cycle. Just that there's day, night, dusk, and dawn. What will be the size of the maps? It will highly depend on the map objectives. Ground Zero first map is 1 kilometer squared. The next ones could be bigger. I mean, the one I played, which I believe is Ground Zero, it felt like a decent size. It didn't feel too big. It didn't feel too small. I think it was a good size. How many PMC players? Another thing, it didn't feel like we needed vehicles. That was I think the important part. Because you're going everywhere on foot, right? It felt like a good size where not having a vehicle didn't feel like a pain in the ass. How many PMC players per map? It will depend on the size and objective of the map. On Ground Zero, there will be up to 24 players. How many player anomalies per map? We're not sure yet, but we're thinking around 3 at the same time at max. So we were talking about that earlier. I wonder how many they'll have on the map. So it looks like 3-ish. Anomalies spawn during the match. It will also highly depend on the different anomalies playable and how they're balanced. Yeah, it makes sense. How many AI anomalies per map? We don't know exactly, but you can expect hundreds. Variety will also sometimes depend on the map. Some anomalies will be bound to certain maps, but others could be seen on all maps. Customization. This is where shit gets cool. There's some really cool looking stuff here so far. What will I be able to customize on my character? You'll be able to customize helmet, backpack, chem light, tactical vest, gas mask, NVGs, top head, glasses, neck, cape, top, gloves, PDA, belt, and pants. That guy's looking pretty badass right there. I forget what their faction name is. Crap, but yeah, they look pretty cool. I've been pushing for tactical ponchos, and they do have one that they teased recently. That's kind of exciting. I'm hoping they make it a little more tactical poncho-y, but it's got like a hood and a bit of a cape on it. Yeah, there's some really cool looking stuff so far. Will I be able to customize equipable / functional gear? Yes. Your helmet, backpack, chem light, tactical vest, gas mask, NVG will be equipable gear that you'll have to buy from the traders. This equipable gear will have real gameplay usage. You'll be able to also customize it. However, equipable, oh my god, I can't even say equipable anymore. Gear will only be displayed when worn. Will I be able to customize the camo / colors? Yes, camo and colors will be customizable. I think the different factions are going to have like their different styles, right? And then you can kind of customize around that, but I'm not 100% sure on that. How will I unlock new cosmetics? You'll be able to unlock new cosmetics by completing quests or challenges. Some cosmetics will also be available for purchase as Steam DLC. What will be the price of these DLC cosmetics? We don't know exactly yet. I imagine it'll vary, right? If they're just like selling you like a single skin versus like a bundle of skins versus like just a helmet or whatever. I don't know how they plan to piecemeal that up, but I imagine it's going to vary. Will factions have specific skins? Yes, each faction will have dedicated skins that you'll be able to wear only if you joined the faction. So that's cool too. Anti-cheat. What anti-cheat will the game use? We don't know exactly yet. We are reviewing possibilities. I personally hope they don't use easy anti-cheat. I have so many issues with that. Hunt Showdown uses it. Fortnite uses it. I get so many errors and stuff where I have to like restart my whole computer just to be able to play the game. So I hope they stick away from that one, but I don't really know too many different anti-cheats. So will you ban more than just player accounts? Yes, bans will also be hardware bans. We are also looking into more reliable solutions. Man, cheating is such an issue right now. It's just going to be an ongoing battle, right? You just, as a developer, I imagine you're just like constantly in a war against cheaters. It's unfortunate that there's shitty people out there that want to cheat, but it is what it is. Will there be any compensation if you're killed by a proven cheater? This is something we would like to do. I think Tarkov's doing something like that now. If somebody that killed you, I don't know if you have to report them or if somebody else reports them or what, you do get some like kickback. Technical. What are the minimum recommended specs? It's too soon to answer this question. However, Beautiful Light uses new tech that requires quite recent gen hardware to run it at a high frame rate. That was one of my biggest issues, is that during the playtest, my game didn't run great. I don't have like a super old PC, but it's getting a little dated. I've got like a 2080 Ti and a Ryzen 5900X or 590X or something. I don't remember. It didn't run great, but it's also a pre-alpha. So does the game use nanite? Yes. Does the game use lumen? Yes. Will there be any frame generation tech? Yes. FSR and DLSS, which is standard nowadays. Playtests. Who can participate? Anyone can get a chance to participate in the test sessions as long as you have the insider role. We are mainly granting access to the game for a limited number of people. How to apply? Playtests are announced on our Discord in the news channel along with details on how to apply. What's the process after the announcement? When the announcement is made, you'll have to register by filling in a form, Google form. If you're selected, a member of the development team will contact you directly via private message on Discord. You're given a Steam key to download the game. You'll need to come to the Info's voice channel dedicated to playtesting at the time indicated in the announcement to get the instructions. Why are you organizing playtests? We organize small playtest sessions on our Discord to get as much feedback as possible on the game and its mechanics. And when do you host playtests? When we need to test new things. Right now, it's just like they test when they need to. But yeah, I don't know if they're going to run them the exact way they did with us, but basically we sign up for a specific playtest session. We join the Discord at that time. Everybody gets together. We all get spread out into our teams. They explain what's going to happen. It's really well run. Yeah, it was a ton of fun. Others. I'm a content creator is the way to join the content creator program. Yes, follow this link. Make sure to read it all. As a content creator, you'll have access to exclusive playtests and opportunities with no NDA. Like me. You could be like me. Will there be a spectator mode? Yes. In the self-hosted servers, you're able to spectate matches. More features will be added to the spectator mode later on. Also, you're able to spectate your teammates in regular matches when you're dead. Will there be any match replay functionalities? This is not planned for now. Hopefully they do at some point. Will there be any Steam achievements at some point? Yes. Have you thought about esports? We don't think this is the right game for it, which, I mean, it's just not. It's not. Not everything needs to be an esport. And I think they're smart enough to know that that's not what they're aiming for here. What are your main inspirations for the game? There are a ton of inspirations. I can mention the whole SCP universe, SCP Secret Laboratory, Death Stranding, Fear, Metro, even royalty short films, Roadside Picnic by Arkady and Boris Strut, that, Stalker, and more. I'm surprised they didn't mention Hunt Showdown, but I think that would probably be on the list. How does community feedback influence the development of the game? Community feedback greatly influences the development of the game. We want to create a game that meets our community expectations, and this is why we do our playtest so early in development. However, a game also has a vision. We evaluate every feedback before implementing them in the game so it fits the vision we want for this game. At the end of the day, I think you kind of have to have that. Like, as a developer, you have your vision of the game, right? If people give ideas that can kind of expand on that and help make it better, then you'll want to implement it, but you don't want to be, you can't make a game for everyone. It's impossible. It is literally impossible to make a game that appeals to absolutely everyone, because everybody's going to have different tastes, all kinds of stuff. So, I think as a developer, you have to have your vision and be passionate about it. You don't want it to turn into something that you're not passionate about, right? Will there be any vehicles? No, and I don't think there's a need. Will there be any Easter eggs? Oh shit, is that Morse code? Does anybody know Morse code? Let's figure it out real quick. That might just say yes. Morse code. Morse code translate. Okay, maybe I was off. Is that not a thing? Hold on. Maybe it can't distinguish the little dashes. I don't know. I tried my best. Where can I follow you? Discord, game Twitter, studio Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, VK. What is VK? TikTok and Bilibili. There you go. That is all of it. The whole shebang. So I'll list all these in the description below as well. But yeah, let me turn this off real quick. We'll let those rock and roll for a second here. Oh. There. For that though, we'll look at this real quick. We're not going. Oh. Why'd you do that? We're not going to go over all this. This is something you guys can kind of browse at your leisure. But this is their kind of dev timeline, the stuff they're working on, what they've finished, what they're still working on, concept phase stuff. Lots of cool stuff in here. So feel free to new skins. Who doesn't like new skins? So yeah, you can kind of browse this if you want. Don't see it anywhere. There's one anomaly. It's like this, I think they call it a phoenix or something. But it's just like a fireball that travels around like through buildings and stuff. It sounds and looks super cool. You should definitely check that out if you can find it. It's probably in their Discord somewhere. What else did I want to talk about? I think that's kind of it. Don't think there's too much more I want to go over. I just kind of wanted to go over that. Oh, I'm a liar. I'm a goddamn liar. So I am allowed to share this with you now. Well, as of the time of recording this video, I'm not allowed to share it. But when it goes live, that's when I can share it. But there will be a community playtest from September 12th to September 17th, 2024. You'll be able to publicly reveal the community and content creator playtest dates on September 6th at 11 a.m. Eastern time. So you'll be able to say when your community could potentially play and when you will be able to play, and the time frames. I don't know the time frames yet. I don't think it shows. The exact playtest dates and times will be shared as we get closer to the time frame. There you go. Here's a cool thing. So they've been doing content creator playtests, right? Can content creators participate in the community playtests? No. So this is only for the community. So again, this is super cool because there's always a lot of like, it feels like there's some favoritism, right, with content creators sometimes, but this is really for the community / players that don't produce content or don't meet the requirements to have the content creator role. As we do playtest for content creators, we want to remain fair to the community by giving them the opportunity to playtest as well. Making them playtest before content creators allows us to have more time implementing last minute stuff and fixing things so playtest goes smoothly as possible in regards to the stream / content you might want to make. Please keep in mind the playtest will be controlled in a controlled environment, which means we will do a bunch of playtests with 21 players and 3 or 4 matches with no matchmaking. In terms of content, you'll be able to play the full in-match core gameplay loop, so no meta progression. So basically what we've been doing where, again, an X amount of people sign up for a specific time frame playtest, show up, everybody jumps into Discord. They give you the rundown of what's going to happen. Everybody goes into your random teams, and then you play some games. Yeah, it's super simple, super cool. So yeah, that is going to be September 12th to September 17th, 2024 is when the community playtest. No, you won't have any sweaty ass content creators bullying you in there. That'll be just for the community players. Content creator playtests are from September 27th to October 5th, 2024. So that is going to be when myself and other content creators can play. So if you want to watch us play, those are the times to do it. There's no NDA, so we're allowed to stream it. I will absolutely be streaming it. And yeah, in between that, bug fixes / gameplay balance from September 18th to September 25th. Share more about the playtest registration as we get closer to the date, so it's clear. If you got access to this channel, it means you'll be able to play. Hell yeah. Community playtest will allow us to refine patch 0.4.0. Currently working on that, and you'll be able to playtest. Keep in mind the playtest, as the last ones, will be controlled. Yeah, like I said before. I think that's it. So there you go. They are up to 500K wish lists on Steam right now. Recently reached 500K wish lists on Steam, half a friggin' million. And you guys are the reason why. We would like to thank you, all of you who talked and shared about content about Beautiful Light. So like I said, get your ass over there, put this shit on your wish list. Super awesome devs, super awesome potential for a game. I've had fun with what I've played so far. But yeah, absolutely go wish list them if you are interested, of course. I guess I should add at the end here, this isn't like they're not paying me. They're not giving me anything to do this. I am doing this because I'm passionate about this game. Again, I like the devs. I like the concept of the game. I'm super pumped for it. I can't wait. That was a lot of talking. How long are we going right now? 1 hour and 23 minutes. My voice is a mess right now. So, yeah, what you can look forward to me from me is probably going to be more stuff that's when this game is released. It'll be just ideas I have for the game, sharing those, maybe patch notes and stuff like that. But if this game does end up being what I hope it is and what it looks like it's going to be, I'll probably be playing it quite a bit. So yeah, I don't think I'll be able to do like build videos and stuff. I don't think it's going to be that type of game. But yeah, I'll have to figure out what kind of content I want to do for it when we get to that point. But yeah, for now, you'll be able to find me doing any of these play tests. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, I think that is about it. I think that's all I want to talk about. Yeah, that's going to do it for now. But thank you all so much for watching. If you stuck with me for this long, good Lord, props to you. I'm going to put timestamps and stuff below. Maybe I should have said this at the beginning, but whatever. But yeah, that's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. And I will hopefully catch you in the next Beautiful Light video. Take care for now.